Hello and welcome all into the MO podcast. You're here with me, Consummation San, and my lovely co-host,
Treya.
And today we're going to have a little bit of Christmas cheer. Oh, well, maybe not, because we're talking about the Krampus and other, not going to say odd, but other different Christmas traditions that we don't necessarily come across.
Untraditional for us.
Yes, but traditional for some weirdos.
Yes. Yes.
So, we'll start off with Krampus, which, if you do not know who this being is, where have you been? It's basically a folkloric anthropomorphic half-demon, half-goat creature.
Check you out.
It is one of the companions of St. Nicholas, but I don't know where the half-goat comes into it, because don't all demons look goat-like?
Yeah.
Because the devil symbolises the goat and that, so I don't know where the half... And he's only got one cloven hoof, so...
He's only got one?
Yeah, he's got one cloven hoof and one normal foot.
I did not notice that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's just weird.
He's also got a massive tongue.
Yes. Have you seen the Christmas cards? The ones that say Grüß von Krampus? And they've got like him with his tongue like dangling over small children. It's a bit creepy.
Well, yeah.
I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. It was a terrible idea.
No, of course. But they were, years ago when they didn't know better, I suppose.
Yeah.
So in his appearance, he's got long claws, and Krampen means claw in German. He's got a massive tongue, he's got horns, he's got a cloven hoof, a long tail, and he's often seen bound in chains. He's basically, it comes from the Central European countries of Austria, Bavaria, Croatia, Hungary, Northern Italy, the kind of Holy Roman Empire area of the world. And he, like I said, he's one of the companions of St. Nicholas and follows St. Nicholas around, I think. The yin to St. Nicholas is yang.
Yeah.
St. Nick is the good one who gives children rewards, gives gifts of oranges and nuts, apparently. And Krampus is the bad one who goes around twatting kids with a bundle of birch sticks, or, if they've been like proper dicks, he takes them away in a sack to hell.
I read one story where he eats children, the naughty children, and then because, eventually he's going to get full because there's so many naughty kids in the world. And so the ones that he has got, like, that he was planning on eating that he's now too full to eat, he just throws them over the edge of a cliff.
Well, I mean, okay.
Wasteful. That's what that is.
Yeah. He's bigger than his belly.
Yeah.
But in fairness, who's going to carry a kid around? There's plenty of them around, innit? I mean, it's not like he's going to run out of bad kids to eat, so...
It's a weird tradition. Like, I know that they did a good cop, bad cop thing between Saint Nick and Krampus. And they would, like people in the village would dress up as Saint Nick, and then somebody would dress up as Krampus. And they would go door to door, and they would make kids, like, read prayers or psalms or something like that. And if they got it right, then they were like, Saint Nick would be like, good, and then walk away. And if they got it wrong, Krampus would, beat them repeatedly with sticks. And it's like, at one point, they didn't get any reward for saying their prayers. They just didn't get beaten. And apparently, as it got, like, further and further into tradition, the person who was dressed up as Krampus would go into the kitchen and, like, smash plates and stuff in random people's houses. Like, I think the people were in on it, but I'd be fuming. I'd be absolutely livid.
Yeah, that's taking it a bit far out, smashing up property. I mean, twat the kids as much as you want. I mean, spare the rod, spoil the child. That's exactly the way it should be. Kids, you don't know how good you've got it.
Exactly, but smashing up my unicorn plates, I different think, see.
I know, I tell you, God, that's best envy, that, I tell you. But yeah, so he is the yin to St. Nicholas's yang, really, and he comes across as this horrendous person. It's kind of like, don't go out, the bogeyman that we'd have nowadays, I suppose. Don't go out there or the bogeyman will get you. But this was done at Christmas time, which it kind of was and wasn't. It's done on the 5th of September.
December.
Which is Krampusnacht, which is where, or St. Nicholas's night.
Yeah.
It's where he comes around and has a look and leaves you oranges and nuts, or he takes your children away, whichever way you look at it. I mean...
Could be a very good Christmas. Where's the kids? That weird guy, he came in last night and took them. Oh, thank God for that. They would do my knackering.
Tell you what, I bet there's some cases, if you go back into the Middle Ages or whenever, that parents just went, yeah, Krampus took them.
When really they were shanghaied.
Yeah, really. They were down the bottom of the well, and they're like, no, yes. Krampus, really. So, yeah, and the cards that you mentioned, Krampus carton, they actually became really popular in the 1890s, which, for some reason, there was a postcard boom in Germany and Austria. I don't know why. Maybe people were moving away or holidays had been invented by then. I really don't know, but they're like postcards that have Krampus on them. And these cards are kind of responsible for Krampus becoming mainstream in America because a gentleman called Mont Beauchamp, who published a book of these cards because he's seen them when he was on holiday and he thought, oh, they're quite kooky. They're quite
Creepy.
Weird, aren't they? Yeah. And yeah, so you can see what audience he was going for.
Yes.
With them. And they kind of got, I would say, an underground following because of what the cards are, what they depict. But it started to take off in America. Obviously, there was German and Austrian immigrants who had gone over and did bring their kind of traditions there, but I think more to assimilate, they didn't really want to drag Krampus out and like this half goat, half demon around all these Americans. Do you know these Puritans that were over there? I think they went, we'll just keep that one in our house this year. Yeah.
Yes. The Puritans would have lost their shit.
I know, imagine.
I kind of want to see it.
It's quite funny that you mentioned that because the Catholic Church did try and ban him.
They did, yes.
And so did the fascists.
They have no fun.
I know, but I can't understand why the fascists would want to ban a character such as this, because surely it speaks to them.
About discipline, you mean?
Yeah, about be good, follow the party line. You must be this way, or else Krampus will get you.
Well, at what point did Krampusnacht, where everybody dressed as Krampus and, you know, got absolutely shit-faced on booze, and then just trawled towns, scaring people left, right and centre, at what point did that come in? Because that might have been why they were like, no, this Krampus thing where you can all just... You're allowed to be douchebags for an entire evening and drink as much as you like and just cause chaos. No, this is not a thing. This goes against everything that we believe in. This is not discipline. This is discipline at its worst. We're not having this anymore.
You're not allowed to have fun.
Yes.
Stop it. Stop it right now.
It looks terrifying, though. All these like big gangs of people dressed as Krampus just causing havoc.
They do actually run round the town centres, don't they, scaring people?
Just scaring the shit out of people, yeah.
In 2019, several Krampi?
I don't know.
Kramptipuses were arrested in several Austrian towns because they were causing too much scare. There was firemen that were beaten and a child was left bleeding after these incidents. So Some people do take it out of hand. I mean, there is actually Krampus associations that give out advice about how to act.
Oh, jeez.
They say only lightly brush spectators with birch branches and make people's skin crawl, but don't cause panic and fear in them.
How can you just walking around in that outfit is gonna cause panic and fear? You don't even have to do anything. Although I will say, if anybody hit me with a birch branch, they'd be getting a sweet left hook.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, with that advice, I think because there has been an influx of, I don't really want to say immigrants, but say refugees from places that obviously don't have this this Krampus. They did actually, in a lot of Austrian towns, they did run seminars for newly arrived people explaining the tradition, because obviously if you just gone to that country and then you're going doing your Christmas shopping and an 8-foot demon runs at you, you would shot yourself, wouldn't you? You'd be like, no.
Can you imagine?
Should have stayed in Beirut. It was a lot easier there. Jeez.
Yeah. Yes. Whatever you're carrying, that frying pan that you got for your husband or wife for Christmas or something is going in that guy's face. Yeah. Terrifying.
It's taken off in the USA as well. They actually do Krampus snacks in the US. In 2010, there was only 2 places that celebrated it, that had like the parade of where people get dressed up as Krampus and walk down the streets. And they were in Columbia, South Carolina, and Portland in Oregon. And then by 2014, there was actually 30 different Krampus snack celebrations all across America. So it's kind of taken off. And then there's a Krampus film in 2015, and I am yet to see, but it looks...
It was fairly gory, but I don't know if it's necessarily scary.
No, it describes itself as a horror comedy. So
yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
I think like the Critters kind of genre. So
it hasn't reached us yet, though. In Britain, this whole dressing up as Krampus and causing havoc. I think anybody that did that, people like Brits would just walk past them and go, "Oh, grow up."
Yeah,
I don't think it's the kind of thing that would take off here, really.
Not at all. I mean, Halloween doesn't really take off, does it?
No.
Whereas, like, in America, it's mad massive. Everyone, like, people go to work dressed up as someone, don't they? Whereas here, it's just kids.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the British English attitude of, as soon as you get to a certain age, no, you stop all that, no more.
Yes, act your age, not your shoe size. It's that kind of...
Yeah. I think it's that kind of thing. It'll be...
Well, I've got a reputation to uphold, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus, prim and proper, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the origins of Krampus is interesting, to say the least. He's supposed to be pagan in origin. I think that's just to be able to say that he is actually evil, because obviously he's a heathen, he's a pagan kind of thing. He's supposed to be based off Pan, which is the Greek god of the wild, and based off the horned god of witches, which it's one of 2 primary deities found in the Wicca belief system. That's something. I don't know.
It's a bit hazy as to where he actually came from, and I think he's more of an amalgamation of tons of different religions and tons of different folklore and beliefs and myths and legends and all kinds of different things, because I think originally he didn't have the chains. The chains was something that the Christians introduced as a means of kind of, as you said before, making him sort of be in league with the devil kind of thing, have sort of an evil, devilish sort of side to him. And he's got, with his kind of, he looks a bit like a satyr from the old Greek myths, who were a bit like tricksters kind of thing, mischievous. So that's a total different kind of, he's not the devil incarnate. He's just this guy that, walks around and smacks kids for a laugh.
Yeah.
There's that many different representations that have all kind of come together.
Where it falls down for me for the pagan kind of thing, they say that he's the son of Hel, which is the goddess of the underworld in Norse mythology. And I spoke to an expert on this, and she threatened to stab me if I said he was the son of Hel, because Norse and Germanic never overlapped. Not even Northern Germanic, and this is Bavaria, so it's South Germany, so they never really overlap. So he's just kind of been crowbarred in there. And to be honest with you, this kind of seems to have come from a comic which was done in 2012, which claims that Krampus is the son of Hel. And with it being based off Pan was benevolent. He was good to people. I mean, he put it about a bit. He was all for that. So I mean, that's kind of He created the kids rather than destroying them.
Well, I think, like, overall, Krampus does have a kind of... He's like a fair-handed kind of... You know, like, if you're good, you got nought to worry about. If you're bad, you get punished. It's just... He's just fair. He's firm but fair, I think, is the kind of... As opposed to he's going to rape, pillage and plunder everything in sight.
I mean, as well, I think it's because he's the companion of St. Nicholas, and St. Nick was actually a real person. He was obviously a saint, but he was made a saint afterwards, but he was a bishop for a Greek bishop, and he was called St. Nicholas the Wonder Worker, which I think is a great superhero name.
Definitely. Marvel need that.
Yeah. St. Nicholas did have a reputation of gift giving and leaving coins in people's shoes, which is weird, but it's benevolent, I suppose. Sinterklaas from the Dutch tradition, which became Santa Claus, did evolve from St. Nicholas. And I think if you've got St. Nicholas being that kind of religious thing, then I think Krampus is kind of a religious, the bad side to him. You've got this good thing, and then I think people had to create it, especially in that kind of time when it was more religious mentality. They were more religiously kind of driven.
Yeah.
You know, so you've got a good thing, but obviously you can't have heaven without hell. Yes. You can't have good without evil. So they needed to kind of create this thing at Christmas. So every time you've got a good thing, you needed a bad thing just to balance it out, and just you must be good. Everyone must be good kind of thing. Yeah,
they've morphed him to represent what they need for their religion.
Yeah, definitely.
And did you know that the Santa Claus image that we know and love with the red and the white was completely invented by the Coca-Cola company?
I did, yes, I did know that.
Good old Coke.
Indeed. He actually, in tradition, he wears green rather than red.
It's not quite the same.
No, but then Coke bastardised it to him wearing red because obviously that's the colour of their cans.
They're red.
And then the elves started wearing green.
Huh.
So, yeah, it was...
There is a green brand of Coke, though. I mean, it's not actually green, but the label is green. It's that completely natural one with no sugar and no sweeteners. And it's absolutely god-awful. It's horrible. Don't waste your time with it.
The only carbonated drink I drink is Stella. I did. I once had this conversation, and it actually dawned on me that I drink 3 things. I drink water, tea, and Stella. And I for about 20 years, I've not drank anything different.
Wow.
I don't drink Coke, don't drink Pepsi, don't drink anything like that. I don't have cordial. I just drink water, tea, and Stella. So that's a healthy diet.
It definitely. At least I know what to get you in a bar.
Well, exactly. See, I'm nice and simple. I'm nice and easy. I'm not like, oh, shall we have a mocha chococino or whatever? No, just give me PG tips.
A brew.
Right.
Oh, PG tips. Oh, Tetley's the way forward, man.
You see. Well, I mean, I have it however it comes. I'm not really bothered. But let's not digress. Sorry. Do you know why I've been talking about that? It's only because I've got a cup of tea in front of me. So, yeah, that's Krampus, really. He's a right one.
So, yeah, in terms of weird traditions, Krampus is one of them that we would consider weird because, you know, it's not the sort of thing that we do over here in Britain. But we found a few other weird traditions. My favourite one, I don't know if you came across this, is in Catalonia. And it's a little statue called Kegana, which means literally the defecator. And it's a little statue of somebody taking a shit. And you put it in like nativity scenes and stuff, but never in front of Jesus. Always like to the side or behind, because that would just be rude. But yeah, and it can be literally anybody. And it's a really big thing. And in Catalonia, they've got like stores, like gift shops that just sell these little statues taking a shit. these Kaganas. Honestly, if you Google the image, it's the most bizarre thing I think I've ever seen. And why would you put it in your house? It's awful.
It's hilarious. It's so hilarious, man. You should have seen my mum's face when I brought her one back. Ah, so funny. She was like, "What's that?" And it goes in a nativity. You have your beliefs, I have mine. They usually are dressed in a typical Catalonian soldier's dress. They usually, or traditionally at least, they have...
I was going to say, I've seen one that looks like the Queen and Donald Trump.
Well, yeah. But now, I think the most popular selling one is one of Messi, Lionel Messi, in the Barcelona shirt, doing a poo.
Oh, I'm going to get Dave one for Christmas and see what he says.
I don't think we've still got one.
I love how this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I think I've still got one somewhere." Like, this is just completely unfazed.
It was a shock. It was a shock, but I lived in Barcelona, so it's kind of like I thought it was hilarious.
It's nuts. I mean, it is funny, but it's just like seeing these nativity scenes with this little figure, like the Queen of England taking a shit next to, Jesus. Is just like, and I was like, what the hell has that got to do with anything? And the video that I watched was like, it's something to do with fertilizing the earth, and I was like, yeah, I call bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. Somebody has made that fit. Somebody's like, it'd be hilarious if we like had a little statue of a person taking a shit. Yeah, but how are we going to say that's Christmas? Oh, we'll just say it's like fertilizing the earth or some shit like that. Yeah, all right, let's do it. See how many people fall for it, and everybody did.
That's it. It's mental how it's in the actual nativity.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And no one has questioned this from their side. They've just gone, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, of course.
Exactly. I do not want one of those in my house.
There was no room at the inn, so of course there's a man shitting in the shed.
It doesn't make any sense.
Why would there not be?
It's the worst excuse in the world for fertilizing the earth. I don't understand.
One that I did actually find, which was amusing, which was about Donald Duck.
Oh, really? Do tell.
So, apparently, at least 40% of the population in Sweden on Christmas Day watch Donald Duck.
Why?
So, I genuinely don't know why, and it's basically called, right, I'm going to try this, and if I butcher it, I do apologise, but it's...
Oh, God.
Gala Anka och hans vänner Onskar Godjul, which is Donald Duck and his friends wish you a Merry Christmas. And it's just classic cartoons that's on for an hour. And it's pretty much like the Queen's speech, when everyone, the Queen's speech used to be, I suppose, when everyone went, sit down. Last year, mobile phone usage fell 28% during the show. During that 1 hour, it was down by 28%. That's how...
Really?
Yeah, that's how much people are into this. And I think it's really, really good. I don't think...
Yeah.
I can't think of a better thing to do than watch classic Donald Duck cartoons with the rest of the family.
Do you think it's one of these things that started like one family just kind of went, this is what we do on like Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or something, and they were telling their neighbours, and their neighbours' kids were like, oh, that sounds like an awesome thing to do, we should do that as well. And then the whole neighbourhood found out, and then they told their friends and family, and then their friends and family started doing it, and now just the whole of Sweden does it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's not that many people there anyway, so word gets round, doesn't it? It's like...
The 47 people in Sweden that all watch Donald Duck.
Exactly, see, so... only 40% of them, so what's that? Maths. 20 people watched it. I mean, but yeah, so that was apparently as well during the actual program. No one speaks, they just watch it. I just enjoy the show. I mean, I don't know how much artistic license that is with the reporting on that, but that's what the article said that I came across, which and it was 2 articles that I came across, so I don't think it was just one that was made up like the Orang Medan.
God's sake, you're never going to get over this, are you?
It's one source. Always need 2 sources. But
is there any subliminal messages in the cartoons, do you think?
I don't know,
like
because
brainwashing.
it's... Oh, I didn't put it down, but I think it's like... someone introducing the cartoons. You know, so they've got this montage, this show, and then there's like a real person who introduces the cartoons. I don't know. It could be subliminal messaging. Said that bad, didn't I?
Or maybe they're really into Donald Duck, and they really like the cartoons, and they just like don't interrupt the duck.
Could be Disney, innit?
Yeah, like in Japan, I read that they have KFC for Christmas dinner or something like that, and it all started because a group of tourists went to Japan, and they couldn't find anywhere to eat on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, one or the other, and the only place that was open was KFC, so they had KFC, and now it's a thing. Everybody has KFC. They like, you know, spread the tradition that they did every year, and now lots of people do it, which is kind of weird.
That is weird. That's just like marketing ploy. That surely are you sure it weren't the Colonel that went and did it?
It definitely wasn't. Like, I know everybody has their own traditions on Christmas Eve, though.
Yeah.
You know, like what you do every year, because you've done it like ever since you were little. Like me and my sister, on Christmas Eve, we watched the episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark called The Dead Man's Float. It's got absolutely nothing to do with Christmas. There's no relevance whatsoever, but we did it for like 3 years off the belt when we were little, and ever since then we were like, well, we've done it for 3 years now, so we may as well do it for the rest of our lives. So now it's a thing. But it's not Christmassy at all. But everybody, I think maybe it's an OCD thing.
Maybe. I mean, to be honest with you, I do have a tradition. I do get drunk every
day,
every Christmas. Well, yeah. So, yeah, I'm trying to say it's a tradition. Making it a daily tradition, is that a thing? Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Making that a thing now, yeah.
The day ends in a Y, yeah.
Of course, that's.
It's fair game.
If it rains, I'll have a drink. Thank God I live in Manchester. Jesus.
Yeah, I think it's just something that just sticks, doesn't it? Traditions. It's like. I
mean, in Norway, I've had to put this one in. In Norway, they sing the mouse song.
What's the mouse song?
This is what I had to ask. It's a song about mice and them trying not to get killed before Christmas.
Why just before Christmas? Is that not a thing that mouse mentality, like, just try not to get killed in general?
I think it should be in everybody's mentality. I don't think you have to be a mouse to just have that mentality. Like, it's not just theirs. It should be everyone's. But yeah. So, Daddy and Mummy Mouse are singing to their children about not getting killed before Christmas. Yeah, exactly. It does have the chorus of "Hey day and a howdy and a toodle-a-doo."
I like that.
So
I'm a bit disappointed that you didn't sing it, to be honest. I was expecting you to sing.
Well, I'm expecting to get shouted at because I've translated that, obviously. Well, no, I've not. It was translated, so I don't think they do say that in Norwegian, but it'd be nice if they did.
Did Kat explain why this is
just a tradition, just
why
a thing?
This is a song?
Yeah, some guy wrote it.
It's like the Donald Duck thing.
They sing it. Oh.
They also hide their brooms on Christmas Eve.
Wow, how did you know Kat's a witch?
No, they don't hide their brooms because they're witches. They hide their brooms so that if any witches break into their houses, then they can't use the brooms to fly off on. Let's just hope they haven't remembered the hoovers. Or the steam mops. Or the ordinary mops.
I mean, to be honest with you, you'd need a long extension, wouldn't you? For a hoover to be flying off with. I mean...
True.
I mean, we've got a cordless one, but it doesn't have much of a charge on it.
30 minutes and then you've got to charge it for 6 hours.
Exactly. Imagine a witch on that, thinking she's got away, and then it just cuts out, and then she falls. Like that, boom.
Like your traditional electric car. You get halfway down the road and they run out of charge.
Maybe that's what Norwegians should start doing. Should start leaving cordless ones, hoovers out, and eliminate the witch problem overnight, that.
How many pissed off witches that have got broken spines and broken collarbones and stuff that are all flooding the hospitals the next day? Serve them bloody right, breaking into people's houses.
Do you know how much my Dyson cost?
I know, right? They're about 300 quid, right? So in the witch theme of things, so you get these crazy bitches who are breaking into people's houses in Norway just to steal their brooms to fly. Like, you're a witch. Why do you not already have your own broom? But in Italy, witches also enter people's houses either through the chimney or just bust in through the door. But they deliver presents to good children and lumps of coal to naughty ones, and they will also sweep your floor and do your housework if you leave them a glass of wine, which incidentally also works on me.
Yeah, sounds like my mum.
So a totally different kind of witch, a nice witch, one that breaks into your house overnight and does all your housework for you for when you wake up on Christmas morning.
Now, why a witch of all things?
I don't know. Maybe it's the witch community thought they were getting really bad reputation and they were like, let's do something nice for people so that people don't say that we're all evil and awful and spawn of the devil. Let's just say we'll do something nice for people. We'll break into their houses and we'll do all their housework. And nobody pointed out, you're still breaking into somebody's house. That's creepy and wrong.
I mean, they're already a witch, so a little bit of breaking and entering ain't gonna, like, worry them, is it? Especially if they're pissed. How many glasses of wine have they had by this point? How much cleaning have they done?
Well, I mean, Santa manages to drive his sleigh after, probably 1,100 bottles of brandy.
I think the reindeers do most of that heavy lifting there, don't they? He just, like, falls down the chimney.
I think so. I'm surprised the amount of cookies and carrots the reindeers eat on Christmas Eve that they ever get off the bloody ground.
Yeah. That's why they need a year off. They're that big. They've got to run it off for the next year.
Treadmills.
Jesus Christ. Done it again. Every year I say January the 1st. New plan. New me. Next year will be the year.
By Boxing Day, there's like 12 reindeer-shaped Jabba the Hutts at the North Pole. They're so big they're on the Ordnance Survey map.
Indeed, yeah. But Santa Claus does exist, by the way, if you just...
We're ruining imaginations all over. I found one, right, in America. I don't know if you came across this one, but apparently it's a thing to watch the Yule log on TV just burn in a pretend fireplace. You know, like them backgrounds that you can get where it's just like a fireplace, like burning, and you can have it on your TV if you haven't got a fireplace. Well, it's that, but it's the Yule log, and people all gather around and they just watch this pretend Yule log burn. Because apparently this guy had this thought, and he was like, "Oh, what about these people that live in apartments and they don't have fireplaces? It's such a shame that they can't sit and watch a Yule log burn." So he decided he would make a thing on TV, and it's got to be pretty boring after a while, though, right?
So many questions. Just so many. What makes this log a Yule log?
I don't know.
Does it have a wreath on it or something?
I don't know how they designate the Yule log.
And that's another one. Is it just one Yule log? Or is there multiple Yule logs? Because it sounds quite special.
Because then it's just a fire.
The Yule log. Exactly. But yeah. If you put even more
what makes this different?
Logs on it, and surely at some point, because it's been burning that long, you're going to have to put another one on if you want to keep the fire going.
You've got to have more than one Yule log, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of taking the Christmassy specialness away from it now, because you've got multiple of these things.
I prefer our Yule logs, which is just basically a WAS Swiss roll.
That's what I thought Yule log was when you started this. I was like,
no.
why are they throwing them at the fire?
What a goddamn waste.
God damn it. They're wacky Americans.
Well, they need to try the Swiss roll version because they'll never go back to watching it on TV ever again.
Indeed. They'll be like, forget that. We'll just watch this Yule log.
Oh, they're so good, though. They're so good.
They are. We've got one on our fridge, actually.
Oh, I really wanted to get one yesterday, but I was like, if I have 2 slices of that, there's going to be so much sugar, I'm going to be asleep for the rest of the day. So I didn't. But speaking of Yule logs, in Spain, have you heard of the pooping log? I love this one.
Go on.
Right, okay, so in Spain, all right, in early December, kids get a log and they give it a face and arms and legs, and they like decorate it with a little hat and stuff, and and they feed it, food. I'm using them apostrophes, but you can't see the air quotes. I'm using them, but you can't see. So they feed it with food, air quotes, and they wrap it up warm, and they look after it. Right, you should Google the pictures; they're quite entertaining. And then after looking after it and feeding it, and they've made it quite one of the family. Then on Christmas Eve, they beat it repeatedly with branches, and they sing songs at it until it poops out sweets. Poops, there's the air quotes again. So they've covered it with like a blanket, and then I think somebody goes around the back while the kids are, getting their sticks to beat their pet log with, and then like a grown-up is like putting sweets underneath the Yule log blanket or something. And then when the kids have beaten it enough and sang songs at it enough, and then they pull the blanket away, it's shit Haribo amaze balls. And they were like, oh my god, my pooping log is so cool. And then they put it on the fire and they burn it.
I mean, why isn't this part of McDonald's triad? Like,
yeah, I know.
Why are you nurturing a log for a start, but then you just beat it?
It's bizarre, isn't it? A log. Yeah, and burn it. Yeah, you beat it and kill it.
I knew there was something off about them Spaniards.
It's instilling bad things in children, I think.
That's just bizarre.
You want to see the pictures? Those logs are pretty terrifying. With their happy faces as they're being beaten and burned. Yeah. I don't. Where do people come up with these things? Why are people so very odd?
That must have been a slow day at work, that. Fucking hell. God, no one's been in today. What can I think about? I've got an idea. Sharon, pass me that log. This will keep your kids occupied for at least 20 days during December. Jesus.
Maybe it was invented in like the 90s or something when Tamagotchis were a big deal. And this guy, maybe he couldn't afford to get his kids Tamagotchis for Christmas. And he thought a pet rock is so 80s. So let's have a pet Yule log and let's make it Christmassy and let's make it last the entire month.
Oh, God.
And then everyone was like, that's a brilliant idea. And now I don't have to buy the kids any Christmas presents. I can just give them this log.
Yeah, it's definitely someone who started a new job in December and they don't get paid till the 28th. And they're like, crap. We'll have a great new year, but fuck, I need a present now. What can I do? Oh, look at that log. Oh, put eyes on that. Kids are stupid. They'll never realise.
And also, why would it poop sweets? Even if I was a kid, I'd be like, no, this has gone through the digestive tract of this log. I don't want to eat these sweets. These sweets are not real sweets. They're shit.
Yeah, do they not realise what poop is? What comes out of that
yes.
end? Like, don't eat stuff that comes out of that end. Seriously.
Yes. Exactly.
You'll be in a padded room.
So did you find any more bizarre ones?
A couple. Iceland, if we're talking about Yules, they have the Yule cat, which is Jólakötturinn. Butchered that. So the Yule cat it's from the pictures that I've seen, it's quite big, like the size of a tree apparently. But it waits in the snow and devours anyone who has not received new clothes.
Wow.
Yeah. So pretty much it was used as a scare tactic just to make people work harder in the run up to Christmas. Like the Yule cat's out there, he'll get you if you don't work harder, earn more money, and put on a nice dress on Christmas Day.
So basically, it was a giant cat that was anti-poor people. That's not very nice.
And it was a bit of a fashionista as well. It was like, wow, look at them.
God.
They look like jeans from last year.
Is this exactly how Hello Kitty was invented?
Could be, but it
feel
was,
like we found the origins.
Yeah. In Iceland, they also have 2 trolls as well that come round. But it got a little bit weird, that one, I'm not going to lie. So I just went, no, just stick with the cat one.
Well, now you have to divulge.
Well, from what I've really not written anything down, so this is from memory, so I'm probably 100% wrong. But there's two trolls, a woman and a man troll, and they come and the woman tries to take kids away.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
If they're misbehaving. So if she sees a kid misbehaving, she goes to the parents and goes, can I have your kid? I don't know why, I don't know for what reasons, but if I remember rightly, there's another troll that came along, and then it kind of like got a bit menage a trois. So,
Christ.
yeah. So, I mean, by all means, everyone do their own research into that and then go, what are you talking about, idiot? That isn't how it is. But I didn't write any of it down because it just got a little bit weird. And this is coming from me, what I'm going to say next. I thought that one was weird. But we have the Christmas Scarecrow as well. From Alsatian-Lorraine region in France. There was, in the 1400s, there was a rich and powerful man named Hans Trapp, and he made a deal with the devil for power and status. And when the Pope found out, he was a bit upset, and he went no, and he excommunicated him, took all his riches, took all his estates, and he had to go and live in a cave even.
I was going to say he had to go and live in a cage. Harsh.
Pope,
it's my choice.
So a cave in the mountains of Bavaria, and here he started to brood and want to get vengeance. So, just as you do, he decided he was going to start eating people. So, again, as you do, he decided to dress as a scarecrow and hang around on lonely roads. Now, I can see where this idea may not be the smartest, because if you're going to eat people, why don't you go to a crowded area and get someone from there while you're hanging around on lonely roads?
People stay away from scarecrows. Those things are creepy. That was a terrible idea.
I know. He didn't really think this through, I don't think. But
no.
The story goes one day, so not even he must have been there for hours, for months. Just come back to his cave, throws his scarecrow hat down, Wurzel Gummidge sits down. He's like, why ain't no one coming down this lonely road? Just don't understand it. But one day, finally, a 10-year-old shepherd's son walks down the road. So the scarecrow stabbed him with a sharp stick.
How sharp was it? A stick?
Yeah, must have been seriously sharp because
Jeez.
and didn't snap either. And then Hans took the body back to his lair, sliced it into pieces and roasted it. Just before he tasted the flesh, he was struck by a divine lightning bolt and killed.
I mean, the almighty and divine was a bit slow on the uptake there.
Exactly. That's my thinking there on that. How divine is this lightning bolt if he's been allowed to kill someone with a sharp stick?
And then roast them.
Many places to stop this, but all after the fact. So, yeah. And then the moral of the story is kind of be good, or Hans Trapp will eat your face off, kind of thing. But the thing about this is it's actually based on a real person.
Oh.
Hans von Trotha lived in the area at the same time. He was a bit of a see you next Tuesday. He was horrible to his subjects. He was a robber baron, so he kind of taxed people crazily. He went around and took anything he kind of wanted, and he was actually excommunicated by the Pope because the Pope wrote to him saying, I don't know how or why the Pope is writing to someone, but I don't know how close these people were. But the Pope actually wrote to him and said, with the actions that you're doing, you're not being very, very religious. You need to prove to me how religious you are. So Hans wrote back and said, hang on a minute, I don't think you're very religious, and questions the Pope's morality and his is his
Wow.
religiousness. So
I don't think you're very religious. What are you, just a pope, for God's
that's
sake?
it. The Pope actually wrote to him, and he wrote back going, "Do I care? Who
No, you.
Who dis? New quill, who dis?" So the Pope got pissed off and excommunicated him. He did lose his estate, but he didn't lose much favour with the King of France, because just a couple of years after he was excommunicated, he was made a statesman in the royal court. So
What a bellend.
and then literally like 2 years after his death, his excommunication was rescinded and he was put back in good standing.
Even though he was a dick.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's just how it works, isn't it? He was the right breed of dick, though.
Yeah, one that questions if the Pope is actually religious.
Yeah, I thought that bit of the story was hilarious. It's like, balls on this guy. Me? You're talking about me? Have a look in the mirror, mate.
Oh, I bet the Pope was living.
Yeah. I bet he was hoping for that divine lightning bolt at that time.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Found it as Christmas scarecrow. I don't know where the scarecrow bit came from, because I didn't find anything on Hans von Trotha. He never had a child, as far as I could see, and he never dressed as a scarecrow.
That's bizarre.
I think of all my favourites there, all of them, I think the Donald Duck one is my favourite one. The most harrowing is the Yule fucking pooping log.
Pooping log. Yeah, I think that's my favourite. Honestly, if you saw the face that was on the picture that I was looking at, right, the face of the Yule log, it was like its face was just like, help me, please. Please help me, with this like fake smile plastered on it like it was dying inside.
Of course, he knows what it's going to go through. It's going to get beaten and then forced to poo.
Yeah, it was kind of sad.
Jesus.
Good times.
Yeah, indeed. So, that was the MO podcast, all about Krampus, with me, Contumacious Ant.
And me, Atreya.
And we wish you all a Merry Christmas, and we shall see you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.